thing that I found interesting particularly is the picture where you see several men carrying this piece of aircraft, because that gives you scale. When you just see it on its own, you don't realize it's light aircraft or whatever it is. But the moment you see it takes 5 or 6 people to carry it, you're starting to say, well, is it a 7.6? Is it an A310 from another incident that was in that part of the world? Is it 370? And then you start looking at pieces where it might go, the flap actuator, where that would have assembled onto it. And you start piecing together exactly the part of the aircraft that it would have been.
Let me bring in Jennifer Gray. Jennifer, if you could, I mean, Richard was just talking about the distance from where this was found to Australia, where they believe this might have gone down. Can you talk about the currents in that area and what might have brought it to that area if it is indeed belonging to MH370?
Yeah, well, Randy, we talked about these ocean currents so much right around the time that we lost touch with MH370, and we were covering the search in such great detail. And we talked a lot about this Indian Ocean gyre, and this is basically goes north and around to the other side of the Indian Ocean. And so it's basically a big conveyor belt. Anything that gets caught up in this could definitely drift up and over towards Madagascar. It has been quite a while. You remember back in 2011, after the tsunami in Japan, and we started seeing debris wash ashore on the west coast of the U.S. about 9 months later. And so that was because of the North Pacific gyre moving from west to east. And so it is something that we look at, of course, because that is what ultimately will carry things from one side of the ocean to another. But it's not that easy. Very, very complex when you're talking about these currents. This is what we're looking at. And the Indian Ocean gyre goes around like this, but you see all these little swiggles in here. Basically, depending on where a storm is, depending on the winds, a lot of things can get out of that main gyre and get caught up in all of these little eddies. And so that's what we've been talking about as well when the plane first went missing.